Welcome to Boss Up Goddess. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and I interview trailblazing women who share their wisdom to help us all live bigger, better, and bolder. Well, as a goddess, you are queen of your castle. Your home should reflect your personality. It should nurture you. It should comfort you. And it should reflect your uniqueness and enable you to manifest your dreams from your castle. The woman you're about to meet is amazing. She's an author, she's an extremely creative interior designer and visionary who's here tonight to help us learn how to make our homes a reflection of ourselves, to nurture, comfort, and enable us, empower us to manifest our dreams. I want you to meet Jody Pear. Welcome, Jody.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Oh my gosh, trailblazing women.
You are that because you have a way of saying things that I've never thought about, and your ideas are just so innovative. So I'm really excited for you to share, Jody, what you do as an interior designer that's so unique. So can you talk a little bit about back to the cubicle and how you decided that I think a lot of people relate, your space is where you decided to personalize and manifest and expand.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I can't believe you just remembered that. I was not expecting that from you.
It's
I,
powerful.
so, so I am an interior designer, and it has taken me a long time to figure out how to tell people what I do, because I don't want to say I'm an interior designer. But that is my education, that is my training. But people have expectations about what that means, and I don't fit into that mold. And so I've struggled with it over the years. And so a little bit about my history. I was a secretary for 30 years at the University of Michigan Dearborn. And while I was there, so I just met my 30 years in 2020, actually in 2000, the end of 2019, but I retired from there
Uh-huh.
in February of 2020 after I
Congratulations.
met 30 years. Thank you.
Wow.
So there I was in an office cubicle in a very busy office. And in 2006, my life changed drastically. And that is when I went to pursue a degree in interior design. And so it took me, 7.5 years to do that, because I knew I was going to keep working full time, until I found that comfort level when I could leave that and do design full time. So it took 7.5 years. In my final year at Eastern Michigan University in the design program, that's when I launched Jody Pear Designs. And that was my interior design
Oh.
business.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I was working full time. I was launching my business, and I was taking on interior design clients. So I had a lot going on, and once I graduated, I knew that there was more, that I wanted to learn. And so I ended up going to Toronto, and I participated in Maria Killam's program there, where she teaches her system for specifying paint colors and being able
Oh.
to see the undertones of colors so that
Uh-huh.
you can put together, appealing color schemes and that
Uh-huh.
are not clashing. And a lot of people don't understand about undertones. So that's, a valuable tool that I learned from her program.
Mhm.
And then I ended up learning about Kirsten Steno, she was an interior designer in Denmark, and she created house coaching.
Mhm.
And so I met her, I saw an interview of her online, and I loved everything that she was saying. She was
Mhm.
talking about tools that she created for herself to help with her interior design clients,
Mhm.
because she would find over and over again, especially for women clients, that she ended up saying, how she summed it up is that women are homesick at home. Yeah.
Oh, what does that mean? That sounds awful. What? What?
Yes.
What?
See, and that's how I reacted when I heard that. And it's like, what is she talking about? But I feel like I could relate, but I don't quite know what that means.
What does it
But
mean?
You've lost connection. Sadly, you've lost connection. We've lost our way. We've lost our connection to our own soul. And and what happens is that manifests first in our home, but we don't know this. Most of us are not trained to see this. So Kirsten was being faced with this over and over again. And women are, they're calling her saying, oh my gosh, I just hate this sofa, or I need new carpeting, or I hate this, I don't know, a plant, a tree, or something that's in their space. Well, it evokes really strong emotions in them. And so it was so much more than needing carpet and needing a sofa.
Uh-huh.
It was trying to help these women find themselves again.
Wow. So they lost themselves in the daily, probably chores of being a mom, a wife, having a house, taking care of the dog, working, all
Yeah.
that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Putting everybody else first,
Mm-hmm.
trying to please everybody else.
Mm,
And during that process, you lose yourself.
right.
And we get to the point where we can't even pick out a sofa. We can't pick out a picture to hang on the wall. We feel we're stuck. We don't even know what we like anymore. We don't feel that connection to our heart. We don't know how to nurture ourselves, how to restore our own joy and find our
Mm,
truth again.
wow.
Yes. So Kirsten and I hit it off immediately, and
Mhm.
she invited me to participate in a pilot program where it was a year-long study. She selected me and 7 other interior designers from around the world, and she spent a year teaching us her tools and her
Wow.
philosophies.
Mm,
And we even spent a week together in her home in Denmark, where at that point we were dreaming about a house coaching institute and the possibility of how can they incorporate these teachings into the interior design programs in
wow.
higher education, because what Kirsten teaches and the connections that she has made, they don't
Mhm.
teach this. They,
Mm.
they are not teaching this. So there's a big disconnect. And so when interior designers get called in, or decorators, when we get called in to somebody's home, most of us don't realize what an honor and a privilege that is, that you
Mm.
are entering sacred space.
Mhm.
And it could be a really good experience, and this is somebody's oasis, or
Mhm.
it could be filled with shame and guilt and negativity. They could be spiraling downward.
Wow.
And it shows up, it's there in the house. And yeah, so what your home is a reflection of you and
Yeah,
what is
so
happening inside.
so your work is really a fusion of not only the visual but also the psychological and a bit of spiritual as well.
Yes, and so really how we try to describe it, we've been working on this for years and trying to find the right language without trying to scare people off or sounding like, is this feng shui? Is this psychology? What is this? And I think the simplest explanation is it's life coaching and interior design. It's the combination of the two. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, Jody.
Yeah.
So can you talk about, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Can you talk about how you help someone create a home that reflects their personality, that's nurturing, comforting, and helps them manifest their dreams?
Yes. And I'm going to back up and I'm going to use me as an example in that office cubicle. So here I am working, so I have my design degree, I have my design business, and I am growing and evolving, and I'm trying to find my way. How am I going to make a living at doing this? And how am I going to serve other people and help them? Um,
Mhm.
but it took a long time before I could leave that job. So while I was learning house coaching, I did learn about a tool that is used in feng shui, and feng shui discussions do come up a little bit throughout our teachings, but house coaching and feng shui are not the same thing. But throughout my learnings, I did discover this tool that they call a Bagawa map, and it is
Mm-hmm.
used in Feng Shui.
Can you just define real quick what feng shui is to people who aren't familiar?
It is, oh gosh, I wish I had it printed in front of me so I could be precise, but it's an ancient Chinese practice of, it's about the energy in your home. And I just read something recently that said like dignitaries and um, people in the, the Asian culture, they rely on feng shui to set up their businesses, and they depend on using feng shui for the placement of things
Mm-hmm.
in their office space,
Mm-hmm.
their buildings, their homes, for success.
Mm-hmm.
For
Mm-hmm.
success. So so I know I'm not completely describing it accurately, but that's the gist of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
it is about how energy moves through your space and the importance of placing things
Mm-hmm.
according to this Bhagawa map. And
Perfect.
so a Bhagawa map is a grid of 9 squares, and you're supposed to use it as a map that you can overlay. You can use it like, just like I'm looking at my desktop. Like, so I could use this grid to lay out my desktop,
Uh-huh.
or I could use it to lay out a room
Uh-huh.
or an entire house.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's scalable for how you
Mm-hmm.
want to use it.
Mm-hmm.
But the 9 squares, each square is related to one area of life's journey.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is love and relationships, it's career, it's family, it's
Wealth.
your center, it's wealth. Thank you. It's wealth. Yes. Yes. So that was so enlightening to me, because I never thought of life, in my personal human experience in these categories.
Uh-huh.
And when I saw this and thought about categorizing my life in that way and then decorating according to those categories, it was like earth shattering for me.
Wow, that's so powerful. It really works. Oh my gosh. Okay, okay, Jody. So eager to hear more.
So the map, I used it to decorate my office cubicle. My office
Uh-huh.
cubicle was a perfect square, which
Uh-huh.
perfectly aligned with this map.
Uh-huh.
So as I'm sitting at my cubicle, I am in the center. I was literally sitting in the center of my dreams. Okay, so my cubicle is in a very busy office. In front of me is, my reception counter. So there's people continuously coming at me. Um, and my boss was located just down the hall, and so I was just in the middle of chaos, but it
Mm.
was business, I mean, that was
Mm-hmm.
my job, that I was doing what I was supposed to do. But my heart was no longer in that job. I didn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I'm going, and it's like, what am I still doing here?
Mm.
So according to the Bhagavad map, as I'm sitting in my desk, if I looked to my left, I had reminders of what love and relationships mean to me.
Uh-huh.
And so I had pictures and I had symbols of what that meant to me. And over here was my career, and behind me was family. And
Mm.
to my left, I think, was reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think of those categories, I precisely placed items in each of those areas that told a story back to me. And so to me, it was hidden messages. I was creating hidden messages for myself they were inspiring me and motivating me to keep going, even though I didn't want to be there. I knew I had to be.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I knew what I was working towards. So every day going in and sitting there, I'm completely surrounded by where I'm going and what is most meaningful to me.
Wow. So now that is amazing. So Jody, you show people how to do that in their homes now, correct?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that is the power of manifestation. Where you're going is not where you are, but you have to keep the vision and the dream alive. So you're showing people how to make their surroundings in their home reflect that, like their whole house is a vision board, right?
Yes. Exactly right. Yes.
Okay, so can you give us some pointers on how to do that, please?
Yes. So now I'm sitting in my home office. I am living what I was dreaming of.
Mhm.
And so another example, like how am I continuing to do this in my life now that I'm working from my home?
Mhm.
And one example is right behind me.
Love it.
So this is, I dream of having a shop. I want a brick and mortar shop someday.
Mhm.
And so this is, this image is just a free stock image that I found on
Mhm.
Unsplash,
Mhm.
and I fell in love with the storefront. I would love to have a place like that. And then I altered it, and I have my logo on the front door, and I
Wow.
framed it. And typically I have it hanging right next to me. So every day I come and sit at my desk. I am telling myself I am going to work in my shop.
Wow.
And I don't have it, I don't have it yet. I have an online shop, and that is one step in the right direction towards this.
Mhm.
But right now
Mhm.
it's an online space.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's okay. Like, I know someday I'm going to
Mhm.
get that. I don't know how, I don't know when, but it will happen. I can
Mhm.
feel it and I
Mhm.
want it.
Mhm.
Um,
Jody, it's so real that in the area where we live, the downtown shopping district has shops that look exactly like that. So when I saw it, I thought, oh, she took a picture of the shopping district and put it in a frame. But no, it's not even, it's off of a website. So, and you keep that in front of your workspace, correct?
it's to my left. Yes.
Okay. And what
Yes.
Bagua Square is that? Your
You
dreams or
know
your,
what? I'm so okay. So thank you for asking that. So I don't use the Bagawa map anymore.
oh,
It, I'm inspired by it. So I
hmm
think about those different areas, and I think about, at any given time in my life, which one of those areas, or is it every area, that is most important to me right now?
hmm
And is that properly represented or symbolized in my home?
mm,
So well, like, so obviously for me, career is so big, because I don't know. I used to look at career differently than I do now. And now to me, the career is just me being me and not being ashamed to show that, and knowing
yes,
that how I can show up will help other people. And
yes.
so I just see that so differently now. I feel this tremendous merging of it's all me. It's just me, another symbol of me.
That's
um,
boss up goddess. When
oh,
you, yep, that's it. That's it. When you wake up and you're like, I'm ready to just be me. I'm
yeah,
not trying to be anybody else. And this is me. Love me or leave me. I
yeah.
love me and I'm going to do my thing now. And the more you shine, the more you can light the light in others. So that's beautiful, Jody.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't use the Bagua map anymore. It inspired me, and it was just, it really launched me into this journey, where I ended up writing a book about this. So I
Mm-hmm.
created um the art of decorating with intention. This is what I call it. Everything that I put around me is very intentional. And it all tells a story. I'm looking over here. I'm sorry. You don't see my bookshelf over there that
Oh,
I
okay.
pointed to, but
Uh-huh.
there I'm surrounded by stories. I am surrounded by either happy memories or reminders of who I want to be, what I want to do, and what I am longing to experience in my life. And it's everywhere. So this is one example. So I keep this in front of me all the time, um, to my side, but within my vision. What is directly in front of me, I have on the wall, I have 5 different picture frames. And within each picture frame is a collage of smaller photos. And each collage is telling a story. So it's just reminding me, what do I need to do to nurture myself and make myself feel joyful? Because
Mm,
that's my responsibility. Nobody
uh-huh.
else can do that for me.
Right.
And when we're faced with a crisis, or we are experience stress in our life or something, we get distracted. And I shouldn't even say we, I'm going to say me, because this is the
Okay.
lesson that I
Uh-huh.
keep learning over and over again. And
Mm-hmm.
and maybe weeks will disappear, or maybe it's months or years. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, I felt like years disappeared. and I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I wanted. And once I started um, feeling my heart connection again and understanding what lights me up, um, I have to get those things when I feel that spark. I have to get a symbol of whatever that is. I have to get it out in front of me and into my environment so that I
Mm,
don't forget. And it
mm-hmm,
could be pictures, it could be quotes or just words, or maybe
mm-hmm,
it's a combination of things. Like I group things together a lot to try to tell a complete story, where so I use and this is inspired by Feng Shui, where you look at items as symbolism. And for me, for example, I use a lot of small mirrors,
uh-huh.
because a mirror is a symbol of either reflection or expansion.
Ooh.
So if I use a small mirror, and I don't have one in front of me, but if I use a small mirror and I place a candle on top of it,
Mm-hmm.
and actually I have this in front of me, believe in miracles.
Oh, I love it.
If I placed this on top of the mirror next
Mm-hmm.
to a candle,
Mm-hmm.
I will go and I will light that candle and I will tell myself that I want expansions in my belief of miracles.
Oh, wow.
So I create stories.
Mm-hmm.
I have to. I have to. And when I do that, it's creating a new habit for me, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go light that candle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so it creates it creates a habit, and it shifts my mindset.
Wow, that's amazing. So, can you just take us into a few other rooms? I know you said the bedroom is a really important place to put those symbols out, whether you're trying to attract a mate or cultivate a relationship with your mate.
Yes. Yes, the bedroom is the most important room in the house, because that is where we spend so much of our time. And on a subconscious level, we are taking in what is in our environment. And especially in the bedroom, if there are things in there that are causing a negative emotion in you, or something that doesn't feel good, that's affecting you. You are losing energy to that. So, um, one thing, I've given this advice to friends of mine who are single and looking for a mate, and I've heard this, I maybe in feng shui, but other aspects. And so, if you want to be in a loving relationship with somebody, and you're longing to share your life with somebody, in your bedroom, make room for them.
Mm.
Physically make space. Sleep on your side of the bed. Leave the other side empty.
Uh-huh.
On their side of the bed, is there a nightstand? Is there a beautiful picture? Is there a functioning lamp? Are you creating things to welcome this person into your life?
Uh-huh.
It's just a symbolic gesture that you can create to open yourself up to this possibility.
Wow. And aren't you supposed to cluster things by twos?
That is a symbol of like being like a couple. So I don't know, say you like birds or something. So put two birds together, and that's going to
Uh-huh.
further symbolize your
Uh-huh.
desire to be in a couple
Mm-hmm.
status.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Mm-hmm.
flowers, put two flowers, not just one
Mm.
flower, not three flowers,
Mm-hmm.
put two flowers or
Uh-huh.
four flowers.
Uh-huh.
It's all symbolic.
Mm. I
Um,
love that.
oh,
So, Jody, what are some other ways, like in for people who don't know what they like because they're still in that finding themselves space?
yeah.
How do you help them say, well, I like traditional, or I like contemporary, or I like Asian decor? How do you help people figure that out, and why does it matter so much?
I I try to get away from all of those labels. Because
Wow.
I do, because it is subject to interpretation. I
Uh-huh.
mean, if you say Asian design to me, or if you say minimalist design to
Uh-huh.
me, your idea of minimalist is different than my idea.
Wow. I love the toss out the labels idea. So, okay, how do you help someone, like say they have an empty living room and they
Yes.
want to design their living room that reflects them and tells a story, as you've said. How do you do that?
I ask them to use Pinterest. Pinterest is a very powerful platform. So a lot when I get called by a new client, that is the first step. Is I tell them create a Pinterest board and share it with me. So,
Wow.
so for your example, like with a living room,
Uh-huh.
if you were wanting to do your living room, um, what I would ask is that you create, you can create different boards in Pinterest. So let's say you create a board for your living room, and what you want to do, what I'm asking my client to do is to show me what you love. So maybe for you, you're going to look for Asian living room because that makes sense to you and that's what you say that you like. Well, look, see what pictures pop up and you're either going to love it or you're not. And when
Uh-huh.
you love it, you get excited and you feel that like hitch in
Mm.
your breath or you feel your heartbeat.
Uh-huh.
And when that happens, like let the labels go. Don't try to understand why that just caused that positive emotion in you, but
Uh-huh.
save that image because it's something, there's something in
Mm.
there. So
Mhm.
save it and use, and this is a tool that we use in house coaching. And oftentimes we will even tell you, show us. So using the living room example, create one board that shows us living rooms that you absolutely love.
Mhm.
Okay. Show us all kinds of examples of that. And then create another board that shows us living rooms that you hate, that that
Okay.
you would never want to spend time in, so
Uh-huh.
that we can see the contrast. We can help you move away from that fear and that negativity and
Uh-huh.
move towards your own joy
Oh,
and
I
your own
love it.
idea of beautiful and what
Uh-huh.
is meaningful to you.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that
So
is one really valuable tool. And a lot of times you will see the patterns yourself. So
mhm.
even if you don't call a designer or a decorator, you may find the patterns when you see it all displayed there on your computer screen. It's
Mm.
amazing. It's a very valuable tool.
Wow, Jody, that's awesome. I was just thinking that what you said about the cubicle is something that people can create now that many are working at home.
Mhm.
Your workspace is more important than ever because we spend so much time there. And so having things that reflect, but another place where we spend a lot of time is the kitchen. So do you have any tips for kitchen decor to manifest all the things you just described?
Oh my gosh. Um, I have a corner sink in my kitchen. And in so I'm looking into a corner, where the cabinets meet, but there is a small, there's a window looking outside to my neighbor's house. But when I'm standing in the kitchen in that corner space that nobody knows what to do with, it's just always this awkward space. I have an oval shaped beveled mirror that I placed on my counter in that corner. And then I put a crystal, just a 5x7 crystal picture frame in the corner. And it has an inspiring quote engraved on it. It was a gift from my husband when I graduated.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
so I create a collage of what is important to me in the moment, or I shouldn't say the moment, but maybe it's the season or the month or even the week, because my needs and my
Okay.
desires change frequently. And so I'm constantly changing
Mhm.
the picture that goes in that frame. But then I have a small vase
Oh.
of flowers and I have a candle. And so when I'm in the kitchen, whether I'm going down to get my coffee in the morning or we're cooking dinner and we're going to be in there, for a while, I light that candle. And when I light that candle and I see the flowers and I take a moment to pause and look at what is in that picture frame, it's just like, it's just,
Wow.
it's just connection and take a breath. And it's like, there I am. you know, that is
Wow.
what is important to me. That is what I love. That is what I'm working on. And you just, just pause and you just see yourself,
Mm.
see who you are. And
Oh
that's
my
what I
gosh.
do. I'm continuously reminding myself who I am. And I have to keep putting these visuals in front of me.
Wow, I love that so much. It's like self-mindfulness in micro moments because instead of standing there at the sink like, oh man, I got to do these dishes and oh, I have to cook and I have to wash the vegetables and blah blah. It's not drudgery, it's pure joy in that little moment. That's
Yeah.
like a pop that gives you this burst that makes you feel better. I love it. And it
Thank
doesn't take any time.
Not at all. Mm-mm.
Wow, Jody, that's amazing. Okay, so tell me, what does it mean to you with your perspective and your skills and talents to boss up goddess?
Oh, it means standing in my own power and operating from a place of love, truth, and joy.
Mm.
And when I can do that, I can create, I can give, and I can offer a ripple of goodness. And that's all that I want to do in this world. I just want to contribute something good and
Oh,
inspiring and worthwhile.
oh, that's beautiful, Jody. So where can people find you?
I am, so my online shop, you'll see this same picture on there. It is called Essential Pairings. And Pairings is Pear, because my
Of
last name,
course. Okay.
Pearings.
Okay.
That I want to direct you there first because you can connect to Jody Pear Designs, which is my, more specific interior design services. You can
Mm-hmm.
find that there also.
Mm-hmm.
But in my shop, I have my books, I have home decor items,
Mm-hmm.
I have a video course, and and then my design services. You can just find everything there.
And do you do your design services virtually? So you literally could work with anyone in the world right now.
Yes, I just did a color consultation via Zoom today for an office building in Minnesota. Go figure.
Wow. That's so awesome. Jody, is there anything you'd like to share with viewers about how they can continue to make their home their castle as you've described?
Yes, ignore all the rules.
I love it. Ignore the rules. Yes. All right.
That's one of the aspects of the interior design industry that feels so heavy to me and feels so wrong, is because it has instilled so much fear in people that
Mm,
they're not going to get the color right. They're not going to get proportions right. They're not going to decorate properly. All of these things, all of this fear. Um, so I truly believe that when you look at something beautiful, it has the ability to shift your state of being. And I've heard this before, and it just feels like truth. And
mm-hmm.
so beauty is subjective. So wherever
Yes.
you are, if you're listening to this, look
Mm-hmm.
around you. And is there something that you can identify as being beautiful in your space? Are you in your
Mm-hmm.
office? Are you in your kitchen? Where are you?
Uh-huh.
Find something beautiful. And if
Mm-hmm.
you can't find something, put something beautiful in that space and
Mm-hmm.
notice how it makes you feel. And don't
Oh.
get hung up on perfectionism. I used to have a friend and a coworker who, she was also trying to decorate her office and get her through until she can leave, for her dream job.
Mm-hmm.
And she so often delayed because I need to find a picture frame. I need to find the right candle. I need to find the right box or something. No, and I just kept saying, no, do a Google image search. Find
Oh.
your idea of beautiful, find whatever
Uh-huh.
it is you're looking for,
Uh-huh.
print it out and tape it on the wall.
Mm.
Just get it in front of you
Yes.
and just notice how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so that's one action step. And I had a couple others that I just wanted to remind
Sure.
people of.
Love
Um,
action steps.
oh my gosh. Another one is, think of things as symbolism. And this is my example. This is an example. This is a symbol of my dream.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your dream? And is there, do you have some, a castle?
Yeah, my dream home is called Sea Castle, and I've already designed the floor plan. So I have a castle on my desk and a
Oh,
mermaid
oh my
because it's
goodness.
by the It's the mermaid made of sand with
Oh
sparkles in it.
my.
So while I'm sitting here working, I literally am looking at a castle that I know someday I'm going to have a home that looks like a castle, and I can swim in the ocean and pretend I'm a mermaid because that's what
Oh,
makes me happy.
oh my gosh, that's exactly right. So, for our viewers, find a symbol of your dream, whatever it is, and keep it in front of you so that you don't lose it. Because we will, we don't, just like me, you will lose sight of it when chaos hits. So find your symbol. And then the other thing, I think I kind of touched on this already, but the bedroom being the most important room in the house. So go, I want to just inspire you to go stand in the doorway of your bedroom and look around and notice what you have chosen to display there.
Wow.
Maybe just stare at one wall and
Uh-huh.
just really take it in and start questioning yourself, like,
Uh-huh.
why are these things here? Are they
Mm.
serving a function?
Mhm.
Does it bring you joy? Is it beautiful?
Mhm.
Does it evoke a memory or something? Do you have a positive emotion or
Mm.
need connected to it? And
Mhm.
if you don't, and especially if it creates a negative feeling in you,
Yeah. Yeah.
take it out of your room.
Mhm.
And of course, unless you need it, but just take it out, put it in another room or something,
Mhm.
or just put it away
Mhm.
and take it out of your line of vision and just see how you feel.
I love that. Love that so much. That's so important. And then once you do start embellishing your space with things that you love and you're drawn to, like I've done that. It's taken some focus because you have to figure out, well, what do I like? What makes me feel good? But once I've done that, there's certain spaces that I'm just so excited to go into and just be there. And they, it makes life much more pleasant, much more comfortable.
Yes.
Mhm.
And be open to change. And I will tell you, this was another a lesson that I learned myself last year. Is here I am, I'm in my home office. I love it. I've done everything that I talk about. I've created this. I feel like this is just like this little jewel box for me. And
Oh, I
I
love it.
love being here.
Uh-huh.
But um so when I started this last year, my desk was facing this window, which is looking out to the front of my house. Once fall came and the sun started to change direction, I couldn't stand to look out that window. I didn't even want to come in this room. Even though all of my favorite things are here, I love the color, I love everything in here, the sun direction affected me and I didn't want to be here. I would walk downstairs and I would see my husband is working from home in the kitchen, bathed in sunlight, sitting there working on his computer. And I'm like, this
Oh.
isn't fair. Like, wait a minute, this is wrong.
Oh, no.
So I couldn't have that up
Mhm.
here. So I changed the orientation of my desk and now it's pushed up against this wall, which I am now have all of my, my collages in front of me, which I love, but I also have another window in front of me and I can catch the sunlight in the late morning. And
Oh.
so, and it changed how I feel. And now
Mm.
I was inspired
Mhm.
again all winter long, to come in here and spend time in
Mhm.
here. So
Mhm.
be open to change and notice how you feel. Be aware of how you're feeling in your spaces and ask yourself, what
Mm.
do I need? What can I
Mm.
change? And
Mhm.
it could be a simple change.
Jody, that's amazing. So can you underscore the fact that this doesn't have to be expensive?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. Like that, for example, I moved my desk,
Right,
just
see?
shifted
Uh-huh.
it.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, print a picture out, tape it on the wall, or buy a cheap picture frame. It does
Mhm.
not have to be expensive by any means, and it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be an overwhelming prospect, like, like painting a room. I mean, that is overwhelming for some people.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessary. You don't,
Mm-hmm.
you may not need to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
start small. And how I like to describe this whole process of decorating with intention, and what I felt like it was for me as I was discovering it and developing it, it's a breadcrumb trail.
Wow.
So it's like you just put a little sprinkling here and a little sprinkling there, and it just opens you up, and it to the next thing, and it becomes just this exciting evolving process. And it just
Yes.
keeps leading you to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next
Mm-hmm.
thing. But
Mm-hmm.
um I think maybe our parent, well, not, I can't say my parents, but maybe I'm going to say another, maybe my grandparents' generation were not really, they would buy things and they would place the lamp in the corner of a living room, and it might stay there for 10 years or 25 years. I didn't grow up like that. My parents were very open to change, which is where I get this
Mm.
from.
Mm-hmm.
But be open to change. Don't place something where you think it's supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
because somebody told you that's where
Mm-hmm.
it should be, or you read that that's the right place that it
Mm-hmm.
should be. Don't
Mm-hmm.
do that. Notice how you feel about it
Right. I love
and
that so
change
much. Yes.
it.
Oh, that is so powerful, Jody. You are amazing. I'm so grateful that you joined us here on Boss Up Goddess, because you truly are a domestic goddess, helping us all live bigger, better, and bolder in our castles that are our homes.
Oh
We
my
tr-
gosh, thank you.
you are. It's awesome. I love learning from you and getting your feedback. So you're really being a gift to other people to help us all,
Thank you.
embellish our homes. So thank you, Jody.
Thank you. This was wonderful. It's a privilege always talking to you, Elizabeth, and thank you for inviting me here. This
You're
has been an honor.
you're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you, all of you, for joining me here tonight on Boss Up Goddess, where you got to meet interior designer Jody Pear, who shared all this wisdom that can help us truly be the queens of our castles. If you're getting value out of this program, please do like, share, subscribe, and drop us a comment. If you have a question for Jody, I'd love to hear it. She'd love to see it. And you can also find her websites in the description box below, so you can get in touch with her if you'd like. Meanwhile, remember, boss up, goddess. You have the power. I'll see you next time.
Thanks.